The late adopter. Welcome guys, good morning, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Bitcoin Daily. Today we're gonna talk about Bitcoin because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin and our altcoins. And right now we are recovering a little bit after yesterday's big FUD day, as the Central Place said, night of the FUD. It was so much happening last night that I didn't go to sleep, you know, before like 3-4 a.m. or something like that. So, you know, I'm a little bit tired right now, but it's okay. It's okay. It was well worth it, the time spending in crypto. How's everybody doing in the chat right now? Wayne, Mo Money, Jimmy here, XRP Legend, Christo, Fmon, Vipun, and some other guys. Jay, there we go. The Central Plane, and Sega Kate. Tila, it's not the bottom. I don't know if it's not the bottom, but it's some kind of local button. I'll show you, but you know, whether that's the bottom or not, we don't think it's bottom. We think this is gonna go down more. That's definitely there. It says there is divergence on 1 and 4 hourly. This pump, be careful. The longs, yes, there is divergence. We're also gonna see that. Public says, guys, I sold the bottom. That's why I made the poll to see how many sold the bottom. Unfortunately, 96% of you did not sell the bottom. Diamond hands, 96%. That means that we have more room to go. So 96% is not enough, guys. 96%, sorry, 4% selling. 4% selling the bottom is not enough. We need to go down more to get more of you to sell. And once everybody is sold, then we can actually get the bottom. So this is definitely not the bottom. Look at it. Did you sell the bottom? Diamond hands, baby, 95%. And 3% did sell the bottom. How is 95 plus 3% 100%, man? Where did the 2% go? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, guys, this is definitely not the bottom by the look of the poll right now. Dobro jutro, morning, Kata, how you doing? I made 20% by buying USDT on the low. Damn, Luna lost a lot. Yeah, so we're gonna see. So yesterday, you know, there was a lot of things happening. First of all, the dump was kind of expected and stuff like that, but then came this UST and Luna stuff, you know, happening. So I'm not smart enough to understand what's actually happening up here, but I know that Luna did lose the peg against the dollar up here, and this was so crazy. Stablecoin went down 38% towards the downside. So there's a big stuff going on with the Luna and USD, and Bitcoin they bought to keep the Luna pegged to $1. They need to, you know, sell it to make this, you know, go towards the upside. They did recover it all the way up to something like they did recover up something like 5.8% down, but it's still down. It's still, they're still trying to recover the USD. So will they recover all the way to the top or not? I don't know, but this was, you know, I was actually thinking this might be a good opportunity to buy if they manage to recover it, because, you know, if you buy USD, you know, you get 40% uptime, you know, without any kind of work. So that could have played out, but you know, it's kind of scary when these kind of things happen, so you're not quite sure what's gonna happen, right? And then Luna went down minus 50%, guys. Luna went down on the daily time frame, minus 50% down. You can see here from the top to the bottom, 52% was down. It was even more down, all the way down to 63% in the move towards the downside. This is because it's directly correlated with USD. So you know what's happening there. It's such a, you know, it's so complex for me that my little brain cannot understand that. But there is a nice Twitter read on what's happening with Luna and USD. Now this guy Patrick Boy, I like to follow him because he has some nice videos, but he did retweet a nice tweet. Algorithmic stablecoins have a lot in common with CDOs, and he's retweeting this guy. And this guy says 18 billion stablecoin, meaning USD, that's pegged to Luna, Luna's in stablecoin, is losing its dollar peg with all its magical chaos of algorithmic stable. So, you know, USD is an algorithmic stablecoin, whatever that means, with a dash of Bitcoin systematic risk drama. Here's everything you need to know, the USD depeg thread. So he made this thread on how Luna, USD, Bitcoin buying, and so forth is correlated. I don't want to go into this because you know, like I said, like my brain is too small to understand all of this and explain it very nicely. So I'll just do like this, and I'll post the link in the chat, so you're welcome to read it yourself and, you know, try to, you know, understand what has been happening. But he does understand, explain a little bit about what has happened, you know, so you can put together the pieces, and it's a nice thread, definitely a nice thread. So if you want to understand what's been happening yesterday and stuff like that, definitely worth a read the thread, you know. Hopefully you understand, because I don't understand 100%. So I'm staying out of the mess, and, you know, there's that. So whether Luna is gonna, you know, eventually do nicely or not, I don't know. No, Luna is very volatile, guys. Luna is very volatile up here. I'll show you down here on the bottom, when we're at technically on some kind of bottom. This has been going up and down. This is minutes charts, guys. This is 1 2 3 4 minutes, 30% up. And then down 1 2 3 4 5 6 in 6 minutes, 20% down. So volatility has been pretty high in Luna, pretty high in Luna up here. And you can see here it's still going up and down like crazy. So, you know, for scalpers and so forth, you know, this is, you know, gold worth of you know, volatility. Unfortunately, it's so shady that, you know, I really don't understand what's going on with Luna right now. But, you know, it is dumping down like crazy. It still cannot recover that much. Right now it's 2.0, 1.9%. It is actually dropping right now a little bit up here on the downside, as you can see here. So it's almost to the lows that it was yesterday. It hasn't recovered that much. Bitcoin is as well right now going a little bit down here. I'm going to show you what's happening on Bitcoin chart right now. But what's happening with Luna and USD, I'm out of that. I do not understand. I say again, I post a nice thread down there in so you can check it out on Twitter. But, you know, it has something to do with, you know, keeping the peg versus dollar and USD. But since Luna and USD is correlated, some big shady stuff is happening, you know, and there's that. Now, the dump did not happen. This dump on the downside did not happen because of USD or anything like that. The dump on the downside is already been calculated. It's gonna happen, you know, either you want it or not. But maybe, just maybe, they wanted to wait until this big dump happens, so you can then abuse the dump and get, you know, whatever they wanted to get, these bitcoins out of Luna and USD and whatever this attack on Luna was, right? So they just abused the dump to actually, you know, punish or do the attack, if there was attack. You can read the thread. And you know, but they use dump. But the dump is pretty much, it was pretty much coming for a very long time. Up here it was pretty much coming for so it's not like, you know, oh, this is caused by dump is caused by Luna or USD or something like that. There is no such thing. I also seen the FUD on, you know, that Binance is gonna delist Luna, stuff like that. There was so much FUD yesterday, like about Luna, you know, trying to push the price down, keep the price low, and so forth. I don't think it's that. I don't think USD is that, but they definitely need to fix their stuff together, because you see right now, like, the volatility is sky high. And, you know, it's very scary when it comes to Luna right now. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Can it go to 0? I think it can. Can it go to 200? I think it can. So, you know, Luna is right now, you know, a big talking point, but I'm not quite sure what's happening there. There are definitely big gainers today, and you will see right over here, for example, Matic is up right now 15% up here, one is up 10%, Solana is up 12%. So there are big numbers today. AV is up 14% up here on my chart. You can see we got a Compound up 12%, Dent is up 14%. But what you're gonna notice is, although we have these big numbers, we are still lower than we were when we started, right? So here's Reef 12%. You can see here, you know, still lower than when it started yesterday. This is RSR, still lower when it started yesterday. This is Shiba, Sushi, still lower where we start. So even though we got like 10% pumps today towards up, there was a 20% pump here I think I saw, there we go, MTRG 20% pump, but it's still lower than where it started. So even though we are getting these very nice pumps, this recovery day to day, we are still not making this, we are still not coming back to, you know, where we started the dump yesterday. So we are recovering a little bit, which is quite normal and expected. But it's there is no big recovery. So waves were actually doing good yesterday. Unfortunately, it closed lower today. It closed a little bit lower today, but I still think this can actually go up if Bitcoin continues to recover or something like that. If Bitcoin continues to recover, so, because this looks like very much like Bitcoin chart. This looks like a hug dump, extend smack hug dump pattern with this fake out towards the outside first. So extend smack hug, you know, fake out and then dump down here and then continue in the other side. Why do I say that? Because if you look at Bitcoin, for example, I'm going to show you here on Bitcoin, and this is you know, exactly the same as we have been following. If you go to the monthly on Bitcoin time frame up here, don't mind these lines, it's the exactly same thing. We had extend smack, a hug, fake out, down, dump, right? This pattern, you know, happens all the time. Extend smack, usually it goes extend smack, hug, dump, but sometimes you get to this fake out to the upside, right? You can see right there also on the daily time frame up here that we had the same thing up here, right? Extend smack, hug, dump pattern, but without a fake out though. There was nice move towards upside, but there was no fake out, right? But sometimes you get these fake outs towards upside, and right now, you know, waves is doing that fake out towards the upside or downside. You know, it just inverted the chart. You know, the chart is just inverted a little bit up here. So it's you know, extend smack, hug, and then, you know, fake out up here, and then, you know, pump. So, you know, whether this pump is going to come, it is holding very nicely, but still below this standard moving average. So it needs to break this standard moving average for us to be a little bit more bullish. But, you know, waves is doing, you know, nicely by. But I'm just mentioning waves right now because somebody said in the chat, and we did look at it a lot yesterday, and we are looking at actually at waves and 1 inch, and 1 inch was also actually looking good until it actually dumped. So 1 inch was holding all the way up here at 1.3 or something like that. Is this inverted chart? No, it's not. And 1 inch was actually holding all the way up here, and it was looking actually quite good just before the you know, before it started, you know, dumping a little bit on the downside. It was holding for a very long time up here what everything is dumping, and then suddenly, you know, it started dumping it as well. So, you know, 1 inch is not doing as well as waves, but waves did, you know, hold the ground, and it's still holding, you know, these levels down here. How much did it dump yesterday? 6%, but it did pull, it did go all the way up there, and then it dumped 70% to tackle it to the downside, but it did not break these lows or anything like that. So it did keep very nicely some moves. So let's go and check out what's happening with Bitcoin right now. So you can see here the pullback right now. We are up at 6% right now from the bottom down here, and it is nice pump. Unfortunately, it's not that you know, it's not that optimistic, because you can see this pump only came on a 4 hourly to the 10 moving average, and getting already rejected there. It is climbing a little bit above 10 and 20 moving average, but this 50 moving average that got us rejected up here, we are just coming to that point, and so forth. So you know, we are not breaking certain important resistance lines. We are trying to get above certain resistance levels, or technically support levels up here. This is on the weekly time frame, but, you know, on the daily time frame, you'll see that, you know, these two levels are super important up here. This is at 32.2 and at what's that, 31.7, 31.8, give or take. And if we zoom out a little bit down here, you can see here that we are trying to get above these levels up here again, because we crashed below them. If you go even lower in the lower time frames down here on the 5-minute chart, you'll see that we are trying to get up. This move up here looked very what am I gonna say, it looked very artificial, and then we dumped down here a little bit because there was no pullbacks, no big moves. It's just kind of slowly climbing towards upside. So I don't believe this pump, I don't believe it at all. By the way, we did call some kind of some kind of bottom down here yesterday on the live stream, and it was just over here that we called the, you know, this parabolic move towards downside. That's finished. It finished over here. It did go lower, but oftentimes it does that, and then recovered. It broke some kind of resistance up here, and right now continue towards upside. So it did, you know, create some kind of bottom down here on the small time frames and continue towards upside. So I'm saying this actually was the bottom. So on the 5-minute chart, you can see the line up here. This was the trend line, so it went down here, extended, then it did this nice move towards downside, broke this trend over here, went all the way up here. Technically, this is the just latest trend, but the trend that we are looking at was actually this up here. So as soon as we got above this level up here, we said this move on at least on the 5-minute is finished. It can definitely go lower on the higher time frames, and lower on the higher time frames it can definitely do that, but this move up here, it's totally normal move after any kind of breakout. So if you invert this chart over here, I've been explaining this before. Let me just clean up all the lines, and let me do like this up here because it's easier to see. When you got some kind of parabolic move towards the upside, I'm going to show you over here. We had a parabolic move towards the upside up here, so you can see here we are increasing the speed towards the upside up here, and there we go. There is the resistance or line. I did not see this, so we're gonna see how this actually holds. And there was this move towards the upside up here that got broken, right? So this is the third and last move towards, sorry, towards downside. But once you break to downside, you do try, you know, a couple of times to get back above this trend up here, get above this trend up here, and you can see here that we tried to get above the trend, failed that, and then went down, broke this support line and went down. Right now looking to this down, still this downtrend support down here. That's why we're actually getting rejected down there right now. But this parabolic move on the small time frames, because this was a parabolic move on the small time frames, you can see how it decreased the speed. First it starts going slowly, then increased the speed, and then, you know, had a blow off top, blow off bottom, and once that blow off bottom came, he tried to get it back. He failed that, broke the resistance down here, went the next to the next line. So if we lose this one, we can be looking at some kind of like 35, maybe I don't know if we can look at 35 levels or anything like that, because there is a huge resistance here at, what we say, 32.2. 32.2 is actually down there, and 31, right? There is a huge resistance up here, but maybe, just maybe, there is, you know, if we can manage to get above this trend over here, maybe there is, you know, a chance to get back to some kind of 35 levels. But we are not gonna say much about that. But this move, you know, this parabolic move to the downside, you know, did break over here. We did make a, you know, lower low and stuff like that, and then we made a higher low. So this was some kind of maybe inverse head and shoulders pattern up here, which actually went up to some kind of target up here, and right now pulling back a little bit. So you can see here this move towards downside did play out, did create some kind of bottom on the small time frames down here, and right now it's pulling back. Unfortunately, the pullback is not that that exciting, because we are not breaking anything special up here. We are not breaking anything special. Let's just you know, create this line before we go to the higher time frames up here. It goes something like this up here, give or take. Yeah, it's a nice line. So let's go to the 1 hourly time frame. You'll see that right now this pullback is nothing special. We just came to the resistance. We gotta break the resistances to actually become a little bit more bullish. Unfortunately, we are not doing that. You can see here this 50 moving average is gonna be very important. Moving average on 1 hourly time frame, then we got the 10 moving average on the 4 hourly, and so forth, so forth. So the move is nice. It's 5% up. Unfortunately, not enough right now for us to, you know, have any sense of bullishness or anything like that. So we still look for the more downside, but consolidation has to happen after you know, these kind of moves. This was yesterday. How much was this on Bitcoin right now? 11% towards downside. So some kind of consolidation, especially after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5 red days in a row, some kind of consolidation has to happen. Let me just see how this looks on daily. On the weekly. On the weekly, still we have this weekly candle down here that's in red, and that's 7 red candles in a row. You know, historical moment for Bitcoin. So eventually we will get this green candle, weekly green candle, but right now that's not happening. So what I expect right now, I don't expect much. There are 2 very important lines of support up here. We still got 5 days. We still got 5 days and 17 hours left on the weekly time frame, but there is, of course, these very, very important support lines down here at 31.7 and 32.2, and you can see here that the pullback is coming just to these lines. So I'm wondering whether we're gonna break close below the support or above the support after these 5 days have played out. So that's most important thing right now. On daily, you'll see that we did close below the support. Right now, picking up, pulling back again below the support. Where are we gonna go above the support up here? There is probably a good chance for that, but you can see the 10 and 20 moving average is just coming down for us. So we are still, you know, extend a little bit on the moving averages. You can see that this 10 and 20 moving average did act as a resistance a lot of time, or starting up here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 times resistance, and then we had this, you know, spring towards the upside that pushed us towards downside, big time towards downside. So you know, there is definitely probability to get up, but you know, this isn't out of the dump until we get above, you know, the 20 moving average. And right now the 20 moving average is not even, you know, previously we said like, oh, we gotta get above the 42k up here, something like, right, 42k, but right now, you know, you gotta get above 37.7. So that's the new level to get any kind of hopium back up. 42 is out of the play right now, but 37.7 is, you know, it is probable to hit that. You know, that's here at the 20 moving average on daily. So if you can manage to climb back up here, you know, above the lines again, you know, I think that will bring back a lot of bullishness. Then we're gonna talk about some kind of 42 levels, but right now 37.7 is the most important level to regain any kind of bullishness in the market, because until we actually get back above there, I think this is definitely still in a downtrend. Now, how this is gonna play out, we have said this is not going to 23 to 25,000 in one go. It's gonna be shaky before we actually get to that point on the downside. So you know, we gotta stick through that, because these capitulation moves do not happen, you know, in one setting. Somebody said there is divergences on the RSI on the 4 hour and 1 hour. Yes, there is bearish divergence happening on the 4 hourly time frame and on the 1 hourly time frame as well. Still going down. This is going way too much towards the upside, so we are expecting more moves towards the downside just by looking at divergences. But besides divergences, we have been overextended on the daily time frame on my indicator, overextend indicator, and on the weekly time frame we are not overextended. So definitely has more room down to go. Bitcoin on the daily time frame on the RSI is overextended towards downside. It was down at 24 levels on the RSI. Unfortunately, these levels can persist in a huge dump, so this can definitely continue doing something like this up here while we dump towards the downside. So just because you are at 31 does not mean that you are at the bottom. It just means that you are a little bit overextended maybe, and some kind of pullback might happen. That's exactly what's happening right now. MACD is still going down in the bearish sentiment. Also the MACD on the weekly is going down in bearish sentiment, so nothing has changed. We are still in a big downtrend. This pump is nice, but it needs to do more. Whether it's gonna do more or not, I do not know. So that's very hard to say, you know, can we pump more? We did pump already. Like today Bitcoin was up 8% from what I recall. Let me see up here. Let me go to 5-minute chart. I don't know where it started up here, but you know, it starts somewhere down here. 5, 2, yeah, it starts somewhere up here. So it was up something like 9% today. Right now it's up something like 5.7. Yeah, so yeah, this was the, you know, close, but a little bit down after the daily close and just continue pumping towards the upside. So you can see here that we did, you know, around 9% recovery, and right now we are down at 5.6% recovery. So there is no strong movement towards the upside. So this movement up here started nicely, but you know, it pulled back a little bit, and you can see how artificial this move looks. I don't know guys if you see that, but it just looks so fake. I don't know. Do you think this looks fake? I think this looks fake. I don't know why, but I think this looks kind of fake, because it was a big move, but it kind of just slowly climbing towards the upside, and then it's, you know, suddenly breaks, you know, on the downside for whatever reason. I don't know. It kind of, I don't know. This move up here looks very artificial to me, you know, because oftentimes you get these very, you know, jiggly points to upside, downside, you know, because there should, you know, in any kind of big move. This was a big move. This is a you know, 6.82% move for Bitcoin towards the upside, and there is like no because oftentimes when you see these big moves, you see a lot of euphoria, you see a lot of people, you know, buying, selling, you know, a lot of stress. So you see a jiggly move towards the upside, but this kind of seems very, you know, steady move towards the upside. So I'm not quite sure what's happening over there right now. But yeah, you know, that said, we are not above, you know, certain very important levels. You can see this 50 moving average is a little bit important up here, because that's what's got us reject last time on 1 hourly time frame. On the 4 hourly time frame, you know, this 10 moving average that got us reject last time, so we are still taking this, you know, very steep downtrend over here, so nothing has changed. But I think that we can recover more toward upside, but I'm a little bit you know, a little bit unsure still, because you know it is kind of, you know, shady moves. I still believe that this is a capitulation. I still think we're gonna go even further towards downside. Unfortunately, 23 to 25k levels are not gonna happen in over day. I said this might take over a month's time, so you know, there's that. The dump looks artificial as well. Yeah, the dump also looked kind of artificial, but the dump was expected. But after this Luna USD stuff started, you know, happening, then you know, there's that. I'll pin the Luna link in the comments up here, so you can read that. That's Luna USD, what has been happening, from somebody who understands the stuff. So you did not mention the coming up death cross. There is no death cross coming up. We had a death cross. Death cross is on the daily time frame between the 50 and the 100 moving average. So this is the death cross. When 50 crosses the 200 on the daily time frame, this is golden cross, and this is death cross. So you cannot have the second death cross again over here, because you can see that both of these are moving toward downside. The death cross is only between the 50 3-day chart. There is no 3-day chart. Death cross and gold cross is only on the daily chart. It's not on all the charts. 50 and 200 moving average can be interesting on different time frames, like you say, like 3-day chart up here, for example. But this is not a death cross. Death cross only is on the daily chart, at least from you know traditional markets and everything else. Because often people look at this death cross, gold cross on 4 hour and 3 days on weekly charts. It's only on the daily. That's where it only matters. But of course, you know, having the 50 crossing below the 200 moving average on whatever time frame, it's important. It's important, you know. So, but you know, this is not the reason it's dumping. It's dumping because it's losing. Maybe this 200 moving average is very nice. Oh, look at that, very nice 200 moving average. Doesn't matter, there are definitely lines up here that are getting crossed and stuff like that, right? So yeah, so there is that. So you know, the death cross is not actually in up here, but you can see this 200 moving average and the 50 moving average is still, you know, going towards downside. Finally, this on the daily time, this, yeah, but this actually did top up here. It went a little bit up here and it went up. So right now it is actually going towards downside. This is actually a good thing for, it might mean that, you know, the price will actually right now, because once it started going towards downside, you know, eventually it bottoms out, right? Eventually it bottoms out somewhere down there, and then we can go up again, right? So that's the plan. That's the plan. So you think that 200 moving average right now it's going towards downside. Is going towards downside. The weekly time frame is also look terrible, of course, but you know, we got some kind of target down here at 23 to 25k down here that we are expecting to be some kind of bottom right now. Again, guys, this is not the start of the bear market. This is the ending of the bear market. Remember that. This is the last phase. You're going through the last phase. It's gonna last for a month's time and it's gonna be over. You're gonna be at the bottom and people are gonna say we're going down to 10k and so forth, so forth. And once they start doing that, then we are at, you know, then we go to the moon, guys. We go to the moon. Yeah, so there is that. So let's hear what chat has to say about, you know, what's been happening. Morning, Ara, how you doing? There was a silver cross. What? You didn't see the bronze cross? Just going to have to wait a little longer for my 589 XRP. Who said 589? We are that crossed out. Dumps look artificial as well. 34.5 before 24k, maybe. It's just, it can't dump in a straight line. Yeah, it cannot dump in a straight line. It has to go a little bit jittery towards the upside and downside. That's why I say the bottom The bottom looks very close, guys. The bottom, let's say the bottom is around 24,000 down here. It looks like we're just gonna have, fast dump down here and it's gonna be over, but it doesn't go in straight line down here, and it's very hard to push it, through this last phase down here, especially through this 29k levels. But when it does eventually, so it can happen. So this can definitely, just jump a little bit up here, go something like this up here, and go down there, and then we get our, last phase to the downside. But you can see here, this from right now to where we think this will actually end up here at around 13th 14th June, where we will have our bottom on the downside. You can see that there is 33 bars left, meaning 33 days left, so around a month's time. This dump is gonna last for around 1 more month's time, and it goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit, it doesn't go in straight line, but it will tear you a new hole in the back of your what. Hi Magnus, I have to admit something. I don't expect retrace to 58k any longer, as we broke the January 22 low. I will still keep buying my alts as they go lower, but I believe the path is now down to 10k or lower. Accept it, Chaco Ben, accept it. That's what we do in tech analysis. We look at something, we have our opinions, we think it's going here, it's going there, right? But when stuff changes, like it changes on your chart that, we broke certain lows and there is no more hope for 58, it's good to, to change the direction and say, okay, you know what? Right now that we have broken this, we're going back to 10k. But I'm going to give you a tip. Every time we do something, we predict something long term, it can change very often because the psychology of the market changes, something can happen, the war can break out, this and that, right? So we always lose just for the next move, I'm not predicting 23 to 25, since 1 year ago, I'm predicting it since, when was it, like up here since April, right? So maybe a month ago in time, not 1 year ago in time, I have no clue that we are gonna go, down to 23. We knew that there is 200 moving average down here, and that might eventually be our bottom, but I'm not gonna go over here or over here or over here and predict that we are going down to 23. No, but this last move, when it started, then we are like, okay guys, now that we are going down, the most likely target right now is this one, right? So there's that. But it's good that we are on the same page. So yeah, you are saying 10k, I'm saying 23 to 25k. We're gonna see who is right, man. We're gonna see who is right. There's no reason for bull market until Fed starts QE again. Until they start QE again, or the economy crashes and then just has to be rebuilt itself. You seem relaxed today. I don't know, am I relaxed? I'm not in panic or anything like that. I'm sitting in dollars, not USD, but Luna got eclipsed. Yeah, Luna got eclipsed. I'm waiting for retracement up here. Retracement might have already happened. We are having the I think it's my 14 or 15, something like that. We get a full moon on the 15th, so this might continue a little bit more downside and get a full moon, then down again eventually, right? So how this is gonna play out, I'm not sure. I'm not really stressed. Everything is playing according to the book. Last night we were watching the charts on the 5-minute chart, and we called pretty much the bottom down here. It went a little bit lower, but that was the after the break of the trend up here. So everything is playing out as it should be playing out. There is no stress. Once you know what's gonna happen, or you think you know what's gonna happen, sometimes doesn't go that way. But I'm not. They won't and can't do QE anymore. They're screwed badly. Yeah. I'm not stressed because the bottom is the start of the bull market, guys. The bottom is like the new start. How many of you have been here in December 2018, at the bottom when Bitcoin crashed and capitulated? I mean, that was the new start. That was the optimism, kicking in. A lot of people have been still fudding and saying we're gonna go down to 1,000 and 2,000 and so forth. But that was like time to be buying and be. I wasn't aware of this, and I didn't know how this market cycle worked. But right now, no, I'm excited that I'm finally gonna re-experience that same dump, that same capitulation again, and I know that this time I'm gonna buy all the altcoins that are undervalued at the bottom. So I'm waiting for it. Yeah, so I'm relaxed. I think some alts won't survive this bear market. Some alts won't, but a lot of them will. June, July, the bottom, the prophecy of the light of the regional full moon OG. Hey, yeah, man, exactly. That's the prophecy. July, you know when we said June, July. Which alts you buy? I don't know, man. I gotta figure that out. I got some kind of my radar, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what I get when we get down there. We'll see what I called the bottom yesterday, 30-10, but I don't know today. Yeah, it does happen. It did call it. It was very nice. It went 30-10 up here. It was pretty close to the very bottom. So yeah, it's good. It's good. 5-minute chart. Maybe that was 31-10. Yeah, it was down here. You did call the bottom, man. Congrats. You knew. June 29th to July 12th, lots of big moon activity. Yeah, super moons are gonna start hitting big time. This time, stick to your load and do not sell altcoins unless you are. Do you know when we started predicting something big is gonna happen in June, July this year? Do you know when we started doing that? I'm gonna show you. We started doing that when we made this chart. And do you remember when we made this chart? These are the dates, guys. These are the dates. And we did it back up here. We are making this chart. You can see the moons up here. We are making the moons up here at the top. We said something is gonna happen up here at the top, right? We didn't know what's gonna happen. And then there was these days up here. And we said when we are drawing this chart back in, June, July. I don't know when we're exactly up here, but when we're creating this chart up here, we said there is big happening, gonna be big happening in this area up here, and then there is gonna be big happening down here as well in June, July in 2020. But we said we do not know if this is gonna be the top or this is gonna be the bottom down here, but it's gonna be big happening right over here, right? So we knew the dates long ago, right? But right now that we did started going something like this top June, July seem less and less credible, and eventually we said, guys, this is gonna be the bottom up here, and that's gonna be the date. Also 22nd November 22, very special date. I do not know how this is gonna play out. I think we just might go down and start going up here, and then start this move towards the upside around 22nd November. But 22nd November 2022, very special date as well, so check that out. But this, when did we make this video actually? We made it, wait, secret. 7 months ago, 7 months ago. Can we see the actual date? September 18th, September 18th. 2021. Oh, it was up here. So it was up here when we made the date, September 18th. There we go. So this is actually the date. So we knew about the date, for right now, for 7 months, and it's right now playing out. Moons are not BS. Yeah, moons are not BS. Do you know what's BS? EMAs are BS. Fibonacci is BS. Yeah, let's not go there. During that epic live stream. There are 50,000 alts and 99% will die in the bear. I don't think 99% is the correct number, a lot of them will. Stick to your load and not sell Synco unless you are fundamentally strong. Accept it or not, but yeah. They'll have no choice but QE. Nah, I don't know about that. During that. Actually, I just looked and there are over 90,000 alts. Wow. I meant to answer that. This is BS with moons, No. Moons are real, man. Moons are real. EMAs and Fibonacci is not real. What do you think about New York Stock Exchange opening today? Down again? Well, right now it should open up, I think, because it just dumped too much. Right now the futures are up a little bit. If you look at a daily time frame up here, we see that futures are up on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. They're up a little bit, so maybe it's gonna open in green, but I don't know how it's gonna play out during the day. It has been dumping for 3 days straight down, but it can continue dumping definitely. Made me lose all faith in the do know. It's a boy club that got lucky, not a DAO made for the masses. I don't know, man. That guy is kind of shady on Twitter, but he's got the money, so How dare you attack the moon? Yeah, how dare you attack the moon? So attack on Luna is an attempt to discredit the moon theory. Big brain time. There you go, guys. They're attacking Luna. They're trying to discredit the moon theory. Bitcoin is pulling back a little bit up here and stuff like that, right? So we're gonna see how this actually gonna develop during the day, but there will definitely be some more live streams later today, looking at what's happening in the charts, if there's something, you know, big happens or not. Right now, this pullback, this move was nice, you know, pullback is nice. If it starts breaking back below, what would say on the 1 hourly time frame, back below, nah, it can definitely break below these moving averages, and then I still continue towards upside. So this is not that bad. Let's go to the 4 hourly time frame up here. If you start getting rejected by the 10 moving average and just continue down here, I would say if we again go on the 4 hourly below 30,000 levels, then that's gonna be bad. But you know, I do see some kind of recovery down here. It might be bad, but I do see some kind of recovery up here that can happen all the way up to something like 37.7, you know, up here. So we're gonna see how that actually plays out. DXY is still you know, climbing you know, higher up here, trying to break certain levels, and it is actually, you know, still going towards the upside. You can see it on daily time frame up here. It did make a higher high up here. Is there a divergence on the higher high? There is a huge divergence on the higher high up here. So maybe it's coming very close to the end. Maybe it's coming very close to the end. I don't know. We're gonna see how this actually plays out. But you know, maybe we're coming to some kind of bottom. It was a nice move towards downside. You can see on this chart over here that we broke a lot of stuff towards downside. Right now we got this 29k level down here that might hold, and that was what we're thinking. But between the 29k level and down here, there's a lot of empty space. There's a lot of empty space. So we're gonna see how fast we drop when we eventually, you know, do the move on the downside down here. How fast we drop to the downside. We'll see that. For now, it's the opposite of QE, 0.5 per month until further notice, potentially for the rest of the year. Don't fight the Fed. Yeah, don't fight the Fed. Is it okay to buy Luna? I wouldn't say so, but because it is very volatile. So you know, hands off the table. I have absolutely no clue what's happening with Luna. There is some shady thing going on. There is a pinned tweet in the chat right now. There is a pinned tweet in the chat right now. I'm gonna link it again. If you want to know what's happening with Luna and USD, check the link, check the Twitter link in the chat right now. You can go there and read what's happening, because I cannot explain it, but this guy is, you know, trying to explain it. Maybe he knows stuff. Do check the link, and you know, hopefully that explains what's happening with Luna and USD. Besides that, Bitcoin right now, nice pullback. We're gonna see how much it can do. Unfortunately, we are not breaking anything right now. We are just trying to climb. We are hitting these first resistance levels, so not much is happening. So I think we need to give it to the rest of the day to see, you know, how this is actually going to affect, because the reaction that we are getting right now, it's not that much reaction. It's a normal overreaction, normal reaction to the overreaction that we had yesterday. So right now, just trying to, you know, stabilize ourselves a little bit, but it needs to break certain resistances or needs to break certain supports to show us, you know, the direction of the next move. So right now we don't actually have next move. That's it, guys. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. You know, check out the link on Twitter, and that's that, guys. That's that. Hopefully the emergency will end soon. We got a month's time, the way I see it, on this bear market, so we're gonna see how this actually ends at the end. That said, stick around, guys. Join me on Twitter. I post a lot of Twitter. I even posted a lot of Twitter yesterday, but you know, people are not following me on Twitter that much. So you know, you see here I posted about Luna. By the way, extreme fear right now. It's down at 10, so you know, it's pretty grim. And I was wondering, can it go lower than 10? I don't think it can go lower to 10. So this is the maximum fear right now. There was actually quite I had hoping that this 4-hourly candle might close in some kind of morning doji style downtrend reversal pattern. Unfortunately, the 4-hourly did not close the way I actually thought it might close, so this kind of failed. See here, not today. So then here I'm joking about which stablecoin is the best stablecoin. I was hoping someone would say USD, and eventually somebody did say that. Never lost a peg, USD, there we go. Easy Bitcoin, and then people joking about ADA, USD. I don't think ADA is any more stablecoin right now. It's deep paid stablecoin. And by the way, guys, if you want the merch, we are getting the merch, man. We are getting the merch. Look here, man. I created this as a joke on stream last night. And I sell. Somebody said you should probably have merch, some TLA merch. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna take the screenshot of, we're gonna take this something like this. I was there and post, and somebody made this shirt. It's not shirt, it's a Photoshop shirt, but you know, I thought it's funny. I was there. You know, if this was a t-shirt, I would buy it, man. I would buy it, definitely. I would buy it. I was there. Yeah, so I think this shirt is legitimately one of the best stuff ever, you know. You cannot find this kind of stuff anywhere, man. Always saying don't buy altcoins. I mean, soon they will be screaming buy, but right now they might experience. Check him out, like, oh, Finderic Crypto, thanks man, 58 followers, nice. This guy is actually, you know, retweeting me a lot, man. See here, he is retweeting my stuff as well, merch. Yeah, we're gonna get merch eventually. Eventually, guys, merch will come. That was live stream yesterday. We also have some kind of, you know, TF Fans Club rules. Do not fall in love with the coin. Capitulation might. Happy capitulation might 20 hours ago and we done big time. Follow me on Twitter, guys. I do post stuff there from time to time. Besides that, you know, see you, you know, tonight, probably tonight, most likely tonight, there will be a live stream. So we're gonna see what's happening there. See you guys. Bye bye. Thanks for stopping by. Adios. Ciao, ciao.